attention to reality, you know, they get demonized. And I'm just one of these soldiers out here trying to bring attention back to reality.
Or what the hell she asked? I was waiting for her to.
She's talking about the beauty standard.
These black folks' minds are so warped. I understand why this particular person, the one in the blue, would say that, because she's trying to maximize her pool of potential suitors.
Hell no, but they be asking for you when I be doing this trans stuff. They be like, hey, we need your woman up there, bruh.
Let my belly off this.
For all these motherfuckers that be trying to talk shit, hey.
About being a woman. Or motherhood.
Yeah.
Or breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Sorry, dudes. Y'all can't do none of that. Nope. Can't do that.
Can't even do it.
Can't even do it.
All right. Social media brainwashes teens to believe that they are trans.
Social media brainwashes teens to believe that they're trans.
Who's who?
Detransition, transition.
I have to agree on that one. Like, there's this thing about it.
Right.
Like, yeah, there's this play that they have.
I don't think that it necessarily brainwashes children, but I think there are a lot of people who get into being queer or trans because it's trendy. And I know that's a really controversial statement to make as a trans person, but I have seen it, I have experienced it, and I also find that social
people to have the fake trans people just doing it because it's cool, that would be annoying as hell.
I wonder how many motherfuckers are really that compared to those who are just following the trend.
It was like, remember, like 0.6% that was trans.
Like, damn,
it's probably
80. Trendy to be trans.
Social media, especially apps like TikTok, give a lot of these kids
indoctrination,
so much misinformation,
Yes.
and lead to people thinking they're trans when there are much deeper issues, and everyone just wants to belong and find an identity,
gay.
especially
There's
when they're
nothing wrong
young.
with
You
that.
know?
I think brainwash is such a strong
Yeah, that's
word
a very
to use
aggressive
there
word. I
when
would
it's
not. That's why I hesitated to step forward.
And that's why I
yeah.
would step in and actually say,
we can use strong words like transphobe and fatphobe and whatever, but we can use a
brain,
strong word like brainwash.
That's the part of the damn
Because
problem.
it doesn't fit your narrative. Yeah, language is very powerful, so.
it's more so of like a social contagion.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was heavy on social media. Like in my transition, Tumblr, that was the place to be for sure. And everyone was talking about their transition from my experience, and everyone was talking about a lot of mental health issues, depression, and all of that. And it was kind of being trendy in that sense. Like when TikTok came out, like that was like a whole nother world. And the biggest thing that I found with that is like they weren't saying a lot of the negative things that were happening in their transition. There was always like a positive outlook on it, like I'm being who I need to be, like this is great.
Ticket to your happiness.
Yeah, and I like so much on social media. Like I made a
how these motherfuckers are gonna refute what they're saying.
documentary on my transition, and I really went into depth of like a lot of my depression that I dealt with on that, and I didn't find anyone talking about that.
I personally didn't think I was trans till I saw earlier trans YouTubers. Before I was just gender bending man. And for sure, I also feel like comparing yourself on social media to other people that are more beautiful and successful will create dysphoria of some kind. And some people,
it will affect your self-image for sure.
Because we see all those beautiful trans women that are all dolled up or had every possible plastic surgery they could ever get. You're gonna feel dysphoria. You're gonna be like, I don't look like that.
And that's
so I
in
have to go
general
through
though.
steps.
You know what I mean? Whether you're
Right.
cis or trans, everyone
So social media has
dealing
such
with
a-
that
I've fallen
for
into
sure.
that
It has
looking
such
at,
a bad impact on
actors
mental
and stuff.
health.
I wanted to be that muscular dude, and I wanted to do
100%.
that. So
No,
yeah,
It is such a
does
bad,
exist.
like well-documented bad impact on people's like sense of self
reality,
and mental
sure.
health, and so.
But I also really quickly just want to say, like, I don't want people to think that, like, social media is turning people trans.
Yeah, we agree with that.
All right, can we
It's
disagree a step forward?
documented. Just by the numbers going up since.
Yeah, okay,
it
so
being
my
cool on
thoughts
social
on
media.
social media and everyone suddenly looking or being trans. I think whoever is leaning towards that or looking towards being trans for answers was always someone that felt that way or felt some type of way about their gender or their identity or the way they present themselves. They're just gonna go that way. I know plenty of femme twinks who went the muscle queen pipeline. It's not a rare occurrence, and so just experience your life, have
what
fun.
the fuck? I need some vocabulary, man.
Muscle twang. What?
I don't fucking know. I can't even use my context clues to figure out what the fuck.
Try not to take social media seriously because no one is advertising their failures. It's all fake.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
that's
you can
also.
sit here and fucking say that shit, but social media runs the goddamn world, especially kids.
Right,
You can't
and-
just be overlooking it saying social media ain't and
Like, that's not
doesn't have the
reality.
influence. It's fucking everything.
So important to say that like social media is very, very effective. You know, I mean, I personally scroll on TikTok and I'm like, do I have OCD? Do I have autism? Like all these different things. And like it can suck you in.
Right.
So it's important to be aware of those things.
I have a question for
They
Samantha.
haven't
since-
said anything to oppose what they said though.
Right. Once it's on your algorithm, it's just going to be fed to you. So even if you're not, like, her point was that you're already leaning that way. But how many people are just confused, depressed, looking for an outlet that are not leaning anyway, that just find that community or a support system and fall for that?
Yeah, and on top of that, it's trendy.
Yeah.
Kids gonna do the fucking hot thing. It's
Yeah,
trendy
that
to
gets
be
more
fuck-
views,
yeah,
that gets more likes.
You got fucking what the parents out here making their kids gay to get paid off of the motherfucker, making them trans to get paid off of them because
need
it's
to be in
trendy
jail.
for that shit.
They need to be
I mean-
in jail.
You have the largest platform here. Do you believe over the years you've inspired people to transition?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think that I've inspired people to believe that it's okay to be transgender, it's okay to express themselves, and that it's possible to live a
man.
happy and successful life.
How do you feel about the fact that some of them
looks
are going to
good.
regret the body modifications they got and going to have
I
like...
think that they should go to a doctor that is well versed in gender care and have the appropriate psychoanalytic analysis done beforehand. That's not my
And
problem.
I feel like a lot of folks are going to social media looking for possibility models. They're looking to see if they're okay. I know for me, when I was very young,
down to, for
looking
me.
to see if there were other people like me, because for a long time I thought that I was
The only one.
exactly
I thought I was the
right.
only one.
And so feeling like that, like suicide was a thing for me,
too.
right? And so when I did see a possibility model, when I did see somebody that looked like me, that put me in a space where I was like, I'm okay.
Sigh of relief.
Right.
I get it, man. Like, you gotta take the good with the bad. Of course, social media is gonna make people that are actually going through that shit more comfortable coming out. But it's
Right.
but collateral damage is the fact that you're fucking up kids who don't need to be there in the first place. So how do you alleviate that?
I will say there's also a difference from like showing people that you can have a positive life and then telling them what to do. So I think you on your channel are kind of like, hey, look what I was able to do and how this made me feel, versus like, you should do this because I did this.
Right.
So I
and I'm
think,
also, I try my best to be very upfront
right,
about the
because
issues
we
of
can't help if
transition.
someone's
Exactly.
going to change their mind on something. Like that's inevitable.
Yeah.
We're humans.
And I have to jump
Yeah.
on one more
Kids.
thing with that. Like, if I'm watching her channel and it inspires me to transition, I have been watching white straight men be president for years, and I've not wanted to be president once. So I don't identify with that. We're going to talk about brainwashing.
Are you fucking serious?
What? How did we get
Are you
there?
fucking serious? All right,
Just-
man. I don't even know what the fuck to say to that. So
Americans are dumb.
straight white men are out here indoctrinating motherfuckers to be heterosexual.
Because our presidents were white men. I wouldn't want our president to be a trans if they're dumb as rocks like you.
That's the stupidest comparison ever, man.
Let's talk about where we see things every single day happening a certain way versus someone just living their life authentically.
Like the amount of representation that LGBTQ has in the media is outrageous. It's not. It doesn't compare to reality.
or
right.
anything else at that. It's why? Because it pays, right? It's the clicks, it's the views, it's what puts money. And you always follow the dollar.
Yep. I'm
And then
tall as hell.
us parents, yeah, because
Born a man.
right. What's the chromosomes for man?
I don't
X,
know.
Y, Y, Y.
Some of them. She got all. That person has all of them.
People with gender dysphoria need therapy, not surgery.
Yes.
Yes.